came up on Fried Bologna, boy, what you expect?
Hello?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, bruh?
Man, not a whole lot. Same old same. What's going on with you?
Same shit, different toilet, bruh.
I feel that, man. And to all of our listeners out there, this is your man, 10 Man TC.
And this your boy, High IQ.
And this is the Fried Bologna Podcast.
The podcast, this is random, it's Kanye doing his best Get Out audition. Yikes.
I just got one simple question: is who raised that nigga?
Hey man, we need to say a prayer to Kanye, bruh. I mean,
I ain't praying for that motherfucker.
I think he's lost out there, man. No, I get it. You know, it's all about the marketing and getting the name out there, but you know, at the end of the day, hey, you know, he probably would have gotten the same type of energy if he went the complete opposite. Like if he was on some like fuck Trump and just going irate, it'd be the same type of publicity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Kanye, I don't want to speak too much on this because Kanye is my unfuckwittable. And it is just a tad too early in the call for me to get too hyped up. So I'm gonna chill on my commentary until a little bit later, if that's all right with you. You're
really riled up about this. All right, we can save it, man. Yeah, because I want to hear you. I want to hear you go on this. Okay, cool. So you know, for our listeners out there, it's Sunday. And if you're Hoop fans like me and TC are, you know it's Game 7. The Cavs versus the Pacers in the first round of playoffs. What are your thoughts on this game, bruh? Do you think the Cavs are gonna pull it off?
Well, this is LeBron's biggest game since Game 7 of the 2016 Finals, when they came back from 3-1 down against Golden State. Which was the biggest game in LeBron James's career at that point. Since then, he hasn't had the biggest game of his career up until now. LeBron's got to know his team isn't good enough to win a championship. I mean, he's got to know that. But he also should know his team is good enough to beat the Pacers. He just hasn't had anybody helping him damn near all series. He's leading his team in every statistical category. And I know what everybody's saying. Well, if he's so great, he's supposed to... Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant has never led their teams in every important statistical category on their runs to championships. LeBron James should not be expected to do that. He needs somebody else to step up and rebound the ball. He needs somebody to step up and get people involved. He needs somebody to step up and play some defense. Like, LeBron can't do it by himself. So, to answer your question, I never doubt the king. Although I'm not very certain either. So,
yeah, same here. You know, like it feels like, given the lack of help Bron has, despite how great he is, and even though they're at home, it still low key feels like a toss-up, like a coin flip. I don't like that feeling for Bron. I really don't. Now, you mentioned, like, you know, of course, everyone knows Bron is literally doing everything for the Cavs. And based on that, and don't get me wrong, like, Harden is balling. Harden is the offensive beast. But given the fact, like, LeBron literally is doing everything and he has no like you know, like right hand man, you know, no killer on his squad. I am leaning towards giving Bron MVP. Now I'm excluding postseason, of course, like MVP regular season, right? Because sometimes people throw in playoffs and shit, but it's MVP for regular season. And I wanted to ask you this, because I can't remember the last time this has occurred, but in recent memory, majority of the MVPs of the league, they've deserved it. It's been close, but they deserved it. But on their squad, when you're talking about like, oh, like Westbrook got MVP, you could always say, I think I just answered my question actually, but you could always say, hey, but so-and-so's balling though too. So the last time someone's done everything for their squad, it's been, I think, Westbrook, right? When the first time he averaged a triple-double. This is rare, right? I mean, usually when someone wins MVP, they do have someone that's legitimately helping them. Mm-hmm. Like Harden has CP3. Don't you kind of got to give it to him based on that? He is by far the most valuable player, right?
Yeah, easily. And the crazy thing about it is that's like most years. Most years LeBron James is the MVP. But you can't just give it to him every year, even though he deserves it. Because there has never been a player who left their team and had such a dramatic fall off. Like nobody.
Yeah.
No, even today, if LeBron James left the Cavs would have gone from sugar to shit in the blink of an eye. LeBron James is the most important person on his team for their successes and their failures. For that, yeah, he is the MVP. But it always goes to the best player on the best team, and obviously the Cavs aren't the best team.
Right. Yeah, I mean, shit, even when Mike left to go play baseball for a year or two, I mean, the Bulls, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, man, with Scottie, And, I don't want to make this hoop heavy, but, this leads me to my next question. You're not going to like this. Listen, we're probably the two biggest Michael Jordan fans out there, And, there's a lot of debate about who's the GOAT. And, Bron is up there. Now, I think you and I are both on the same page that Bron, while he's close, he's not on the Jordan level. I mean, who the fuck is really, right? Now, Jalen Rose said something interesting. He said, a lot of kids are getting caught up in the hype of today, and they are forgetting how great Michael Jordan is. And I was like, that's a great point. I mean, that's a great way to kind of articulate what's happening with these debates. And as a Michael Jordan fan, right, I'm going to ask you this. And just be honest, man. Just be honest. Are we, as Jordan fans, also kind of somewhat living in the past as well? And this is what I mean by that. It's like, when I'm thinking of Michael Jordan, right, all that I'm thinking about are flashbacks of highlights. Him dunking on Ewan, him talking trash to Xavier McDaniels, him dunking from the free throw line, right? Mm-hmm. These are childhood memories, right? But it's hard for me to reflect back and remember actual games, right? Like what happened in the actual games. We know he destroyed everyone, but are our childhoods blinding us of how great LeBron is based on like our memories of Michael Jordan? Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, and like my answer is not a short one. So, what I think Jalen Rose was referring to though was when LeBron James hit the game winner, and then there was tweets and IG posts and everybody saying that made LeBron James the GOAT. I think everybody was getting caught up in that moment, saying LeBron James is the greatest. I think that might be what Jalen Rose was alluding to, instead of the totality of his career. Which I agree, because just because LeBron James hit a game winner to save a game going into overtime, that shot in itself does not make him the greatest.
Agree. So
the next part of that question, or the next part of that answer is, I think as far as the greatest goes, MJ is 1A, LeBron is 1B, Kareem is number 2, and 3 through 10 can be debated. That's how I would rank it. Because I do think LeBron is the greatest of all time. Under Mike.
Under Mike.
Yeah. But they're both still the greatest of all time. I think they have to share that. And that's okay, because I'm a huge MJ fan, as you know. So to answer the last part of your question, is our childhood blinding us? Absolutely it is. And absolutely it isn't. Because Michael Jordan was that great. But the problem with super MJ lovers and even super Kobe lovers to a certain extent is our love for those guys. Like, they become a little bit more than basketball players. Like, if we're pretending like MJ never missed a shot, or MJ never missed a game winner, or MJ never, took a bad shot. MJ never had any challenges. Michael Jordan played 15 seasons, right? He won 6 championships.
Mm-hmm.
9 seasons, Michael Jordan did not win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are forgetting. Michael Jordan lost more than he won as far as championships go. Yes, every time he went, he won, but he didn't go more than he did go.
Right.
So that finals record is not that big of a deal if you look at everything. I think it's extremely impressive that MJ won every single championship, but I think it's also very impressive that LeBron James puts his teams in positions to win, to be in the championship and then to win. Like, that is extremely impressive. So, LeBron James gets an unfair rap when compared to MJ, but he is also not MJ either. But on the same token, MJ's not LeBron. LeBron's expected to do the scoring, the passing, and the rebounding on his team. MJ was expected to do the scoring because that's what he was good at. But he also had somebody on his team to handle the rebounding, even though MJ was a great rebounder. He had somebody on his team to do the passing, even though Michael Jordan was a pretty good passer. So, when you got to focus on one thing, it makes it a little easier than when you have to focus on everything. So, Michael Jordan is the greatest.
Man. Well said.
But LeBron is the greatest too.
Well said, bro. Yeah, we ESPN need to cut these checks, man. We should be analysts. Real talk.
Absolutely, man. Because those motherfuckers don't know any more than we do. They're just talking shit just like us.
Right. Right? Yeah. And ESPN need more black people on there too. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well,
the hip hop references aren't enough. They won't suffice.
Yeah.
Y'all had true. Stuart Scott, which is the GOAT, but bring some new blood in there.
Yeah. I want to switch gears with you for a second because I read something that I think you'll like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if you go on like the Apple News section of your phone to catch up on some articles that you need to be reading.
Oh yeah.
So I do that pretty much every morning. Either while I'm laying in bed still or taking my morning deuce. I, of course, like to catch up on the happenings. And sometimes it's not all, like, politics and current events. It's just some, like, weird shit that's going on. So this headline really caught my attention. Let me read this headline to you. This 30-year-old woman lost her home after spending $18,000 on weddings and bachelorette parties. So I'm thinking I need to click on this. I need to read more. So basically, this 30-year-old woman was getting invited to weddings and bachelorette parties from all over the world. There were destination weddings, bachelorette parties were at destinations. She didn't want to miss out on anything. So instead of telling her friends, hey, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it, I can't afford it, I'll send you a gift, she figured it was more important to do that than to have money to pay her bills. So she racked up massive credit card debt just to be a part of her friends' weddings. And then she moves back in with her parents. Nothing is more irresponsible than that shit. If you got friends that can't understand that you're in a tight spot and you can't afford to come to their destination wedding, because destination weddings are a little expensive for everyone, then those people shouldn't be your friends. So
I agree.
Yeah, this woman's an idiot. And if I were her parents, I would give her at most 1 year to get her fucking life together. Otherwise, she's getting kicked out of my house.
I think that's spot on parenting, man. Because that's the only way you're gonna learn to be financially responsible is if you're given like a hard deadline. But that's kind of crazy though, because I mean, I think we've all been there as young kids, like adults. Like, you know, you got an upcoming party, you got to get a fresh new fit. But I think the expectation is to grow out of that type of shit. It's called maturity. Yeah. You know, it's called like not really caring what other people think and doing what you can. So when that doesn't happen by the time you're 30, that's no longer a maturity thing. That's a stupidity thing.
Yes.
Like, know your limitations, bruh. But look, you and I both know when it comes to weddings or bachelorette parties, like, and no disrespect, but females tend to get a little out of control.
Yes, they do. Yes,
females see some wedding specials on TLC or the Kardashian wedding, and for whatever reason, they're like, okay, I know they're millionaires and I'm not, but we can make it work. We can have something similar like that.
Why can't I do that too?
Right.
I want to stunt on the gram. I want my friends to be jealous. I want people to think I'm living some kind of different reality.
Yeah, man. And you know what's funny? It's funny you bring it up because I had to go to an event, and it's one of those like pinky up status events, you know, where everyone's like, oh, so I was at the Hamptons last summer, that type of shit, right? And and I was like talking to maybe like four people, mingling with them or whatever, and it was like one of the couples had just gotten engaged, and they were talking about like all the planning they were doing for the wedding, and you know what they were gonna have in the wedding or whatever, right? And one of the girls was like, "Oh yeah, you know, for our wedding we did this, blah 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 blah," and then you could see. You could see the disdain in the bride to be's face, like, cause she realized that like, oh shit, like her wedding was probably better than mine. It was like it was like me coming into a room of Jordan lovers and be like, I got all the Jordans, bruh, and then leaving. It was kind of hard to watch, man. Like, the competition is real. Yeah, the competition is real.
And the problem is, it's got to be a competition. Nobody can just be happy for their friends. I think, and I don't want to put all women in a box, but I am going to generalize for a second, is I feel like women are always competing with each other for shit that doesn't matter. Like material things. Like, she has this bag, so I got to get this bag. She had this kind of wedding, so I got to have this kind of wedding. Like, yo, be happy for your friends that they acquire stuff, and work hard so you can acquire stuff too. But it doesn't have to be a fucking competition. Be happy for one another.
Right. Now, to be fair though, I do understand the source of it, because like, for a lot of females, getting married, right, and having that wedding is equivalent to you or I going number one in NBA draft. You know, it's like, we've thought about it, we dreamed about it, we thought it never happened, but here we are about to go number one. And so in that regard,
I don't want to take your analogy too seriously, but the difference is, one is a potential money-making opportunity, and the other one is a money-wasting opportunity.
100%. But the premise of you know, growing up as a child and dreaming about this day. It's the same. It's like this. It carries the same weight, and I think that's the way they're looking at it. So it's like if me and you go number one, we got to make sure the suit is on point. We got to make sure like the venue where we're having the draft parties on point. You know, I get it. Now, granted, we're multimillionaires then, and we can afford it.
Right.
Or we're getting, you know, assistance from the agent. But
It's a drop
I
in the
think
bucket
that's the way they look at it. Right. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But that's the way they're looking at it. Like, I waited for this my entire fucking life. I'm going to get what I want. You know? Yeah. Crazy world we're living in.
Yeah, it is a crazy world we're living in, man. And so, I mean, let's be real, man. There's like a 98% chance that I'll never get married, so I ain't gotta worry about that shit. But also, like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna spend all that money for a 50% chance of this marriage failing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right, that's the thing too, man. Like, look, if you're married, we're happy for you and keep up the great work, but I'm not the biggest numbers guy, but damn, like,
yeah,
them numbers don't add up right, bruh.
No,
but
no, they don't.
You know, I guess it's if you're gonna gamble on something, I guess some people be like, might as well gamble on love. But
that always works out.
Right.
Got a better chance of fucking hitting that green 00 on the roulette table.
Right. Right. Yeah, but shout out to marriage though.
Yeah,
it's
working for some people, and I heavily endorse it. So you work in like an office building, right?
Yeah, corporate life, bro. Yeah.
Is there like a lot of people in your office building, or is it just the building is just people from your company?
No, it's a lot of people in the office. Yeah.
Okay. So I work in a big building too, and there's a lot of people, and you know, you exit the building and there's like a lot of people outside smoking, and there's a lot of I think there's a lot of misinformation about cigarette smoking. Not the healthy parts of it, because we all know it's unhealthy to kill you. You're an idiot if you smoke cigarettes. We all know that. But there's also this misconception, at least I think it's a misconception. I've never been a cigarette smoker, but that smoking cigarettes like curbs your appetite and it keeps you thin. Like, have you heard that before?
I've heard that a lot of times. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do I see a lot of fat people smoking then? Like, like, and I ain't talking about small people, like, you know, like just slightly chubby. I'm talking about like fat people. So either cigarette smoking ain't working for them, or again, that's a big fucking lie. Because there's no way they'd be bigger if they stopped smoking.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's actually a good point.
They're already plenty big.
I think that started that whole trend. I think that started with like the models and stuff. They were smoking and they were saying that. But I think the main thing that people were forgetting was they wasn't eating either though. They were smoking and they have like some romaine lettuce, you know? It's not like
romaine lettuce, yes.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the pounds are melting off in that situation, but for the majority of the population, they're smoking and they're going home eating, you know, McDonald's and or Del Taco and shit. Yeah, you're not losing weight, bro. It's not happening.
Yeah. So yeah, I've always been a little baffled, and you know, I didn't want to jump to any conclusions like I saw one fat person smoking a cigarette. Nah, like I've been doing a lot of research on this, and the data that I've compiled, it supports my hypothesis that cigarette smoking does not curb your appetite, and they're full of shit.
Yeah. I'm in agreement there, and I'm glad you brought up the corporate office life, because you know, where I work, there's like a lot of traffic, you know, coming and going into the building, and I'm sure you've experienced this, you know, and we're similar in this regard. You know, like if we're walking out of the office, right, and we know there's some people behind us, we'll probably open the door like, oh, here you go, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've experienced the people who just walk through the door and don't even nod or say thank you or anything, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that shit irks me, you know, because it's like, how hard is it to say thank you? And this happened to me, about 2-3 days ago. Opened the door for a lady. Lady just walked through the door, you know, and I got so angry about it, you know, and I know I can't do it, but for a split second, I thought about running up on that lady and just kind of like giving a little smack upside the head, like, hey, you gonna say thank you? Now I know you can't do that, but like the type of smack where it's like if you with your parents and you say something inappropriate, your dad will be like, hey, well, you know, smack you upside the head. What the fuck's wrong with you? Not too hard, but just like a wake up call. I wish I could do that, bruh. I really wish I could. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Because it's like, how do you walk through a fucking door that someone else opened for you that you don't know?
Yeah.
And just think like that's what's supposed to happen. I don't get it.
That's exactly why I don't open doors for old white people.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta close the door in their face.
Yeah. and it really has nothing to do with them per se, but it has more to do with what I think they're thinking. So it's more of an insecurity thing. Like, if I open a door for an old white person, I'm thinking they think I'm supposed to do this because in their day, niggas was opening doors for white people.
Right.
So I do my best not to. They're walking in after me. I might hold it open on my way through, but I'm not holding it open for them.
Right. And then, you know, sometimes when you open the door or hold the door open for somebody, even when they say thank you, it's not that type of thank you like, oh, thank you, man, I appreciate it. Sometimes it's that thank you.
Obligatory
like,
thank you.
You know, like, yeah, like that'd be all, Winston. You know, that type of shit, right? It's like, damn, there's racial division and courtesy now. It's crazy, man. Oh, man, what are you going to do, though? You know?
Yeah,
bullshit.
Man. This is not something we're going to win. I mean, we could always just stop opening doors for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Implement like a new like black policy where it's like, hey, effective, you know, May 1st, 2018, this shit stops.
Yeah.
You know? The world will collapse, though. The world will collapse.
It just might. But shit, sooner the better, I suppose. I mean, we've been waiting for the, you know what I'm saying? We've been in the days for like the last 1,000 years, so.
Yeah. But given the political climate, I think we're close. I think we're going to accomplish it this time. If not now, then I don't think it's going to happen.
If not now, when?
Right? This is the one. Look, hey, if we come out of this shit unscathed, we are the greatest country in the world ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Man.
We got a my man High IQ would say, TBD.
Yeah. TBD, bruh. Jesus, man. Oh, shit.
But hey, you want to get into the introduction for the special guest we had?
Yeah, this special three-way call we got. Special guest, entertainer, musician, producer, and part of entertainment royalty. Family member of the Jacksons, Austin Brown. Let's give a big warm welcome to this amazing talent. Shouts out to Austin Brown.
Yo, what's up, Austin?
What's up, man?
Hey, to our listeners, we have Austin Brown, the talented singer, songwriter, producer. What else do you do, man?
Oh man, I juggle. I do hat tricks. I tattoo on the side.
What about magic? Do you do magic?
I do have a few magic tricks up my sleeve.
That's what's up.
You know, I'm a pimp on the side, so I'm playing.
There's nothing wrong with pimping, man. It ain't easy from what I understand.
Man, it ain't easy at all.
Yeah, man. Sound like you're really versatile out there.
Oh yeah, man. You kind of have to be a jack of all trades. I always say like you kind of have to have an octopus on. You kind of got to do everything.
Yeah.
That's what's up. What are you working on right now?
Currently, working on a few different things. I just finished up working with one of my bros, Tommy Parker. We worked on, Macy Gray. She has a new album that's coming out. I worked on about 4. Yeah, she's really cool. And, she has a classic voice and really awesome to be in the studio with. We did about 4 records on her. My buddy did the whole record and brought me in on 4 of them. And so, that's done. And so that's coming out. I'm currently in the studio working on an album, a duet album that, Evan Ross and Ashley Simpson are doing, the married couple. And then they have a show coming out that's kind of documenting this entire album. And, on that, I produced the entire thing with my buddy Brian London. So I'm really excited about that. And we've been able to collaborate with actually Verdine White, John Paris, and Sergio Dimitrovic of Earth, Wind and Fire. So they're playing all the instruments on it to the records that we arranged. And that's just been a blessed experience. Never in my wildest dreams I thought that would have happened. And continuing, then, yeah, just working, man.
Dude, you're a freaking Jamaican, man. All the goddamn simultaneous jobs you got going on.
Right, and that's not even including my stuff that I gotta finish up. But it's been great, man. I'm happy to be working and to be able to still do something that I love and to grow in it and to just get better at it. Can't ask for anything better, you know?
Yeah, man, I hear you. I couldn't imagine that shit either.
Yeah, man.
And how many for our listeners out there, how many years have you been involved in the music industry or entertainment as well?
I personally started really getting into it. Shoot, when I met Troy when we were like 14, actually 13, I was starting to learn. I was starting to learn how to produce. Then my sister married a musical director by the name of Rex Salas, who's my brother-in-law. I'm still married till today, and he taught me how to sequence and program in the studio when I was very young. So with that, I started kind of learning how to put things together and write songs, and just it kind of took on its own world.
Well, Austin, let's not beat around the bush yet. To anybody who doesn't know who Austin Brown is, he comes from musical entertainment royalty. His family are the Jacksons, and that is not like Randy Jackson from American Idol. I'm talking about like Michael Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, Janet Jackson, and his mother Rebe Jackson. So he's been in music his whole life. I don't know why you're trying to short sell us.
It's not short selling. I mean, the question was, when did I start getting into it? I mean, I've been around it my entire life. Families, aunts, uncles, my mom, everyone. Music was definitely the centerpiece and the foundation of a lot. But even though my entire family is involved with music, doesn't mean that I'm gonna just automatically take to it and actually find my own way through it. I think that's what confuses a lot of cats sometimes that might come from a family of a field that they want to go into one day. They think that they could just replicate or duplicate what their relatives have done or did, no matter what it may be. And that's just not how it works in life,
But it's what we expect. It's what we expect. We're the ignorant general public, man. That's what we expect. So.
Yeah. We expect it,
true.
but we don't want that. We don't want that, because if something is just like something that we love, we're going to hate on it and be pissed. Well, you're just trying to da-da-da-da-da. Well, you're just trying to da-da-da. So we really don't know what the fuck we expect.
That's true. I can understand. Well, I mean, I can't personally understand, because my family is only talented at being regular people, not being the king of pop or your auntie Janet. By the way, so your aunt Janet that I said hello. No disrespect. I just love her as all.
I will, Troy. I will.
I appreciate that. So speaking of your family, I think you remember this. My family is also from Gary, Indiana.
Right.
Have you ever been to Gary?
Oh, I've been to Gary a few times.
Yeah, my dad never took us.
Yeah. You know, my grandma, my mom, and my dad, especially my grandma, we used to go back every year. That was just important to her and for us to see our roots and where we come from. And my father was also born and raised in Gary, and so we used to go back to Chicago and Gary in the summers and visit his grandmother before she passed away.
That's nuts, man. My dad always said, there's no real reason to ever go back to Gary, so that's why I never took you.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's really what it says with Gary. No. It's definitely the same. I mean, Gary has been through a lot, man. That place is really, it's not the safest place, but still, it's where my family comes from. The foundation that made them who they are, and part of who I am today too is because of how they were raised there and what they bestowed upon me, you know? So you always got to remember that.
Yeah, and interesting question for you, because obviously you were heavily influenced by your family, but I'm curious to know what other artists were you inspired by or influenced by coming up? That I guess people would be kind of surprised to hear.
I mean, coming up as a kid, you know, I was into producers, so Timberland and Pharrell were definitely huge on my list, and Jay-Z, but I'm an avid Prince fan. Prince was the original producer, arranger guy, and I just always loved everything about him and what he did. And probably my top is Miles Davis. It's just the reason why I wanted to really get into music beyond just the programming, sequence, and sampling level. Like, I wanted to really learn music and learn some theory and really get into just the sounds and the modes and just reinventing your sound consistently. I mean, that's a guy who did it for 4 decades. So definitely, and then the Beatles too, for sure. The Beatles, big time.
Yeah, I remember you being a Beatles fan back when we were in high school, and you were the only black dude I ever knew to like the Beatles. Like, I had no idea black folks like the Beatles.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll put you this way. You don't sell 1 billion records and it only be white people buying your music.
You're right.
True.
There are an awful lot of white people.
Yeah. Definitely are.
The fact that there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Speaking of high school, I'm not sure if you remember this. Cause I was gonna ask you about, being being kind of in Hollywood. Have you ever been starstruck? But, more specifically, have you, gotten a chance to, meet your idol, I'll Be Sure? Because you used to always sing I'll Be Sure.
Oh my god.
And
Shit. Oh my god, I was singing I'll Be Sure. Damn, what the fuck was wrong with me? You know what? Shout out to I'll Be Sure, man. That was a classic album. That was a classic album. You know, I still have not met the king himself, but one day I will be reunited with the unibrow, and I will tell him how much he has inspired my falsetto.
He had to, man. Every goddamn day, walking into algebra, walking out of algebra. He was always singing night and day.
But what's funny, Troy, is that I was singing night and day, and everyone else was on Laffy Taffy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Also, a different dude.
I was a different dude, man. I was spending lunches in. I remember because I didn't have a lot of friends in high school because I was coming from California, and Vegas was like a lot different. And like most of the kids, they all were friends from junior high, and I wasn't. So I kind of just had my core group, which was like you and Nettie and maybe like a couple other people, and I really just stayed to myself in the guitar class and really didn't bother nobody.
Yeah, nobody really understood that. You know, like your interests were a lot more creative than everybody. In high school, like everybody's really trying to find themselves. Like I had basketball that, I always played. Other guys, maybe football or soccer or some shit. but there wasn't very many guys like into like music and like the arts like that.
There hardly ever are,
which
though.
was-
That's the thing. There's hardly ever are like a lot
I
of
always-
people doing that. You know, they're like
Yeah,
they truly are unique.
You know what's interesting? I always found that interesting about Las Vegas because it is an entertainment town at the end of the day. But you're right, Troy. There weren't a lot of people who were really into music, and if they were, it was just hip hop, and they were just rapping. You know,
Right.
no one was really into instruments. You know, it wasn't really a big thing. So that was the one thing I was kind of sad about because I didn't really get to click with a lot of other musicians out there.
Yeah, which is why you moved back to LA, and I hadn't talked to you in like shit,
Long time, man.
Yeah, when you went to Sierra Vista, and I stayed at Durango, and then I think you moved back to LA when you were in 11th grade, right?
Yeah, I started going back and forth then and working on music and just trying to figure out my way and hustle my way.
Yeah, and then when I was in college, we reconnected for a short time, and then that's when things really started blowing up for you. You got super busy.
Yeah, I got really busy producing and collaborating with a lot of cats and, you know, starting on my own music, and it's just kind of been a uphill battle ever since, but a lot of lessons learned while climbing.
That's dope though, man. Shit, I'm certain that a lot of people would love to have that experience.
Oh, man, I'm thankful for everything. Wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, a lot of people won't ever know what that grind feels like the highs and lows of trying to accomplish a goal or get to a certain point in the industry. So.
Oh yeah. It's a lot, but you know, if you really love it, you don't see any other recourse.
So, where do you find that you kind of draw your inspiration from? Because it's a creative field that you're in, and you can't do the same thing all the time and still be relevant. So, where do you get your inspiration from?
Life, just relationships, things I go through. I write very, very, very personal music. So, and then also having friends who are also musicians that you can learn from. Mm-hmm. No one can do it by themselves. Nobody's on an island alone. And it's great to have friends that you can learn and share experiences with, and all it does is enhance what you do. You know, they have that term, iron sharpens iron. So,
right.
Having the right collaborators and the right mentors should keep you going.
So, what is the wackest trend in the music industry that's going on right now? One that you're like, I just can't get behind this shit.
You know, I never like to straight up just diss any body or any form of music, only because it's an art form. So even though I don't click with it, someone else is finding solace through it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I personally don't like subject matters that are only about cooking crack. You know what I'm saying?
Not a Pusha T fan, then, huh?
Or Jeezy, no Jeezy, huh?
Well, no. But the thing is this: with Jeezy and Pusha T, because I actually love both of them, but they literally are they're literally telling you exactly what they went through, and they're giving you an autobiographical look into their life, and they're doing it from an honest perspective. Then you have these other cats and some of these kids who are just doing it because they think it sounds cool. You can hear the difference in it. You know, there's a difference in Jeezy and Pusha T and them telling the story than another rapper who's just talking about how cool it is to cook cocaine and make tons of money. You know, like Jeezy will let you know the shit he went through and how he almost died a few times selling drugs, but this was the only way he was going to feed his family. You know what I'm saying? Or like Pusha T will let you know what was going on in Virginia and like how they didn't really have, there was not a lot going on for black men and the racism that was out there, and this is the shit that I had to do to put food on the table, you know? But look at me now, look how I'm trying to flip it. So I think there's a difference on how you go about it.
Yo, IQ, Austin's a real motherfucking fan.
Yeah. So
He's a real fan. I got my eyes start welling up as you were talking. I'm like, yeah, man, I feel this. I feel what you're saying right now.
Yeah, that was
man,
real,
there's a difference. There's a difference.
So I gotta ask you this then. So, a lot of people, kind of, anytime let's say, for example, a artist like Rick Ross, where a lot of his stuff is completely fabricated, but his supporters say, hey, you know what? It's entertainment though. As long as he makes good music, it's just strictly entertainment. I don't care about that other stuff. Me personally, and I'm sure TC agrees, we need authenticity in our music. That's the core for us. But are you okay with bending the kind of like meeting the entertainment and authenticity mold, I guess?
I think there's a fine line when it comes to entertainment and authenticity, but I think you have to be able to blend those lines to where you can still get the heart and soul of it. Like, I think J. Cole does a really good job at that. Because J. Cole will let you know that, like, I'm tired of people only speaking about this, and this, but I'm going to give you this so that you can really digest my real message. So there's cats who mask the party, the entertainment side of it, but the undertone is actually real shit that really penetrates. And that's where it kind of gets really funky, because the listener can really take it in and feel what's cool and what's not. So, in the results, you'll see it within how many people connect with their shit.
Yeah, and speaking of penetrating for a second, so you're in the industry, man. You meet a lot of people, a lot of beautiful women.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yes.
Great. I'm a huge fan of Rihanna. Mainly of how she looks. I can't really tell you which song is my favorite. But if you happen to run into her, can you slip her my number or have her in your head?
I got you. You know what's funny? She's actually one of the ones I've actually been able to spend some time with. And,
love spending time with her.
Just as a friend, and that's a cool motherfucker right there, you know? There's a reason why she's been successful. She's authentic. And she's cool.
Yeah. I believe every word of that.
And hasn't let success taint her shit. Like, she's just cool, and that's why she does so well. Because people connect with her.
I feel like
that's a good actually, from what you guys were saying before, entertainment and authenticity. Like, Rihanna's songs are pure form of entertainment. Like, she has tons of writers, she collaborates with a lot of writers, but it's the way she delivers it and the way she gives it to you is what makes it authentic, because she does it in her own way. That's that line, and that's that thin line.
Damn, well said.
I heard all of that. So yeah, next time you see her, you know,
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you, Troy.
Yeah, that's my man right there.
Yeah, TC, shoot for the stars, man. You miss, you land on the moon,
sometimes you land on the moon. I got another question, IQ, unless you want to jump in.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna just leave this open-ended. What do you think about Kanye West?
I think as a producer and as a rapper, I think he's brilliant. I mean, you look at his body of work and look what he's released. I don't know if there's an artist, not even just a rapper, an artist who's consistently released great bodies of work the way he has over the last few years. Now, I'm strictly talking about his art.
Right.
Yeah. As what he's doing right now, I think it's hilarious. And I actually think it's pure Kanye, and he does this every single time. I mean, you think it's a coincidence that a year ago you don't hear a peep from Kanye, but literally 2 weeks before he drops an album, he says all this crazy shit to get everybody riled up, and then he releases a record? I mean, I just think it's funny that people fall for it again. He's doing the same thing that Madonna did 20 years ago. Just doing things to kind of fuck with people, get their emotions high, get them hot, get them pissed, get them mad, and then releases music, and then it skyrockets. You know?
Yeah, because people want to hear what he's going to say. He's going to say anything controversial.
And people fall for it every single time. So if you're Kanye West, you're thinking, okay, this is what I normally do. What can I say right now that will immediately get me engaged and people talking about what I am and what I do in my records? Donald Trump. And I'm going to say I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to wear the hat. And then you think it's a coincidence that a day later he releases a song, Kanye versus the People, of him and T.I. talking about him being a Trump supporter and like T.I. saying, well, this is what people are going to think of you. It's just like, I just think it's funny that everyone gets so emotional about it and so angry. And it's just like, he does this every time, yet everyone falls for it every time.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive rollout.
Yeah. Dude, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. His form is entertainment. He is entertaining you. And part of being an artist is to bring out extreme emotion in people. And this is how he's doing it this time around. Do I agree with how he's going about it? No. But do I think it's funny to watch and do I get what he's doing? Yeah, I see it clearly.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. But there's a segment we do in our show. It's called Unfuckwittable. And I'm not gonna spend our time doing it right now. I'll do it after our time is up. But I've been saying fuck Kanye for quite a while, and everybody thought I was crazy. Everybody thought that I was just being a hater. But no, Kanye does a lot of fuck shit that we're not going to tolerate anymore as a people. And I'll go on that rant a little bit later.
Kanye, like you say, you're going to go.
Exactly what he wants you to. This is exactly what he wants you to do, Troy, because you literally are saying you have a segment dedicated to how you're going to say fuck Kanye, and still you're talking about him for a segment. No matter what it is that he's doing. No matter what he is that he's doing, he's allowing you to spend time talking about him. That is giving him promotion, no matter what. And that is then that's putting it on a platform.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's like, why go to such an extreme? If you're an artist on his level, why go that route?
That's what extreme artists do. Madonna 30 years ago released a book called The Sex Book, where she was having threesomes with Naomi Campbell and Big Daddy Kane, and had a dog that was naked, kind of like acting like she was in the bestiality. She was doing all this outlandish, crazy shit, and everyone's like, why is she going there? Why is she going there? Because you're talking about it. Because it's on the news. Because everyone's speaking about it. And then the album comes out and it sells like crazy. If you look at history, this is what extreme artists do.
Yeah, you're right. Pablo Picasso, motherfucker, cut off his ear. Or Van Gogh cut off his ear.
Yeah, exactly. Van Gogh cut off his ear. I mean, if you look through the times, this is what certain artists do, you know? This is just, Prince was another example when he started writing Slave on his face and stopped speaking in interviews. And it's just extreme artists. Whether you agree with it or not, they're getting you to speak. They're getting you to talk about them and to have a full discussion and conversation about them. Kanye, no one's heard from Kanye in over a year. He literally has not tweeted, nothing. Then he first announces that he has his album coming out, an album coming out with Kid Cudi, and he's produced Nas's album that's coming out. And then all of a sudden he goes on and then he goes on all these rants, and he gets his name right back in the public.
Quickly, too. Very quickly.
Immediately.
All right. That is genius. I think Kanye is more like, he's got more like man tendencies in my opinion. But that is very genius though.
Right.
Yeah, you kind of sold us there.
When you break it down and you realize that's what he's doing, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I actually am not going to listen to his album, though.
Yeah, you will.
Nah.
Yeah, you will. Yes, you will, bro.
Yeah, you will.
You will definitely listen to it.
You'll listen to some. If you're not listening to his, you'll listen to something from his collab album with Kid Cudi, or you'll listen to something he produced on Pusha T, or you'll listen to something that he did on Nas. No matter what, you're listening to.
Oh, well, you mean listen? Okay, if you're grouping all those together, yeah, I was talking about just his album.
I know,
listen to Cudi, because I love Cudi.
But he produced all of that, so it's just like you're still listening to Kanye West, and that's all you want.
Yeah, man. And plus, if you listen to Cardi B, and you gave that a chance, you're definitely gonna listen to what Kanye has to say. So
that's fair. Yeah, but Cardi B was more like, all right, I gotta see what the hubbub is about.
Right.
It's gonna be the same for Kanye though. When people start saying like, I can't believe he said that or said this on this song, you're gonna have to listen to the album.
Mm-hmm. This is the same Kanye that said "fuck George Bush" is the same Kanye that's a Trump supporter. That's the craziest shit ever. But that's artistry. People flipping and then extreme emotion comes from everyone else. Like Kanye's not a politician. Kanye's not any of that. He's a rapper, but yet he's invoking more emotion than politicians.
These are narcissistic tendencies from Kanye West. When has it never not been narcissistic tendencies from Kanye West? You're right. Shit. So, all right. Let's change subject. You guys want to continue to hear me say y'all are right?
Well, no. It's just, no, I mean, you asked me the question how I felt about it. I'm like, I see what he's doing. It's funny to me.
Yeah, true. Q, you got another one? Because I got a question I gotta ask.
Well, I just want to kind of, Austin has like said several times, when he was getting into production and sequencing, I think we need to let most of our listeners know, like this is different from how you and I got started in production. We got started on Fruity Loops. Now, Austin, I don't know.
Shout out to Fruity Loops, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fruity Loops, man.
Austin, I don't know. You were probably a little bit more advanced than TC and I were, but I'm interested to know, like, what are some of the things you use to produce and kind of educate our listeners for those that don't know?
Well, I started on a lot of analog gear because I started producing before the technology really advanced. That's how long ago it was.
Whoa!
But I was an MPC guy, and then I used the 1080, the Planet Funk, and all those synthesizers and keyboards. So, I definitely came up in the era of the J Dilla Q-Tip production style of MPC chords, Triton, and sequencing through that. And so I'm a rhythm guy first and foremost, and a sample guy. And then as technology got better and Logic came about, you're able just to all around do more and to be more efficient and get to your points quicker. But the core of how I produce is always going to be hip hop based. Period.
Man, I don't know what the hell you just said or all that stuff was, but it sounds intricate like a motherfucker.
It's a drum machine. It's a drum machine. It's a drum machine.
All right, so that's for the retards like me. So I want to settle something with both of you. Both of you are darker complected than I am. I would say both of you are, more like a milk chocolate skin tone, and I'm more of what would you say, like a caramel?
I don't know, but it's always light-skinned niggas who are bringing up a question about light.
I just had this debate with one of our mutual friends.
So cliche. All right, what's the question?
So, can we please decipher the difference between being light-skinned and being bright-skinned? Because there's a difference.
I have no clue with that shit. Bright skin or bright skin? I do not fucking know.
You're a liar.
Please,
you know what that is.
Please enlighten us.
Please enlighten us with the difference. I've never even heard white skin. I've never even heard that shit.
Alright. Whatever. You guys are playing ignorant right now. So, alright. Bright skin would be like Steph Curry. Light skin would be like Will Smith. There's a difference between both of their complexions. Do you not agree?
Yeah, but
no, I agree. I agree.
Mom mixed? Isn't Steph Curry's mom mixed?
His mom is black. I'm pretty sure in the census she fills out African American.
No, but it's like, what are her parents? Are they both black, or is one of them white?
I don't.
That can be
tree, Austin.
Because that can be the answer to your question right there.
Jesus Christ! Why are you making this so difficult?
Oh my God! When Nettie hears this shit, she's gonna be like, "Troy, what the fuck?"
Well, we were arguing about this the other day. I forget how we came upon the subject, but I told her that my complexion was that of like Will Smith, and she says I'm lighter. Like, I'm not lighter than I'm about the same complexion. I see myself every day. I know what I look like. So I had to ask you. We have, you know the person I was talking to, so I figured you had some input, but you're not helping at all. So
definitely not. Definitely don't understand.
Wait, so you were for a minute you were thinking that, that you were bright skinned? I mean, is that?
No, I was bright skinned in my younger days, like when I was 6 and 7 years old. But when I reached my final form of my complexion, I'm just light skinned. But okay, obviously, y'all. I guess the dark skin community doesn't have these conversations. The light skin community always has to defend itself.
Yeah, we have poor light skin community.
Yeah, we had no idea. The struggle's real, man.
We had no idea. We had no idea you guys go through these experiences and have these struggles of defining your light skinness or your bright skinness.
We do, and you know why? It's because all of y'all dark skinned niggas that always call us light skinned. Why can't we just be your black brothers? Why we gotta be your light skinned brothers? Why?
Because y'all make it a point like today to bring up you're all are light skinned.
I wanted to get a dark skinned man's perspective. Because dark skinned men don't think like that. Y'all just want to point out the difference. Like, I don't know about you, but we weren't on that subject matter. But hey, I did it. Got it. Anyway, moving right along. Let me bring up two light skinned niggas to wrap this up, because Austin, I do know you have to go.
Yeah, I gotta run too.
Yeah, but I want to ask you one last question. What's that? So, your uncle is the king of pop, the most influential man in all the music of all time. And I know how highly you think of him as a musician and, of course, his family. And then on the other side, we have one of the most talented musicians and artists and most influential musicians that's ever existed too, in Prince. And for the longest, it's always been a MJ versus Prince debate. Now, with complete neutrality, let's take your affiliations out of it. As a musician, who do you gravitate more towards?
That's hard because I spent time with Prince and I, got to know him and he was amazing. As a musician, no one has inspired me as a musician, instrument, Prince. No one has inspired me more than Prince, period. Just the reason why I wanted to play instruments, different instruments, and produce my records completely is because of Prince. So he takes the cake for me when it comes to that part of it. But Michael gave you magic, belief, and hope, and pure love. I don't think there will never be another person to entertain you and to make you feel the way you feel listening to his music ever than he did. So that's why it's hard to kind of do one or the other, because they're so different in so many ways. But I will say this, you wouldn't have had one on the same level without the other, because they pushed each other and they had mutual respect for each other tremendously. And I know that from talking to each one.
Well,
Hey, Austin, I'm gonna keep it real with you. That little dialogue right there got my allergies acting up a little bit, bruh. I'm gonna keep it real with you, because I just went through I strolled down memory lane thinking about all those dope songs and records, man. Oh man, yeah.
That's why it's hard, but because you, in a lot of ways, to their extremist form of artistry, you wouldn't really have one without the other. And that's what's awesome about music. That's what it's supposed to be. Artists are supposed to push each other.
and you don't have to choose. You can love both.
Yeah. You can love both, but I also think most people do love both. And that's why it's a great debate for the fans and for people. I think it's one of the best debates ever, because they gave their whole life to this art. Like, that's a serious sacrifice, you know?
Yeah.
It's a serious sacrifice. And they had immense respect for one another. And, you know, that's cool, man. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
IQ, you got any more questions? Because, again, Austin Brown's a very busy man. He's got moves to make.
Yeah, man. No, man, I don't got anything, man. We better let Austin go, man.
Hey, Austin, before we let you go, where can we find you? On the social medias and all that, and are you touring?
Everything across the board is at Austin Brown. Right now I'm just finishing up the studio work. I'll be going back on the road in summer, and I'll be announcing everything. So you can follow my Instagram. That's the one I'm most active on. And yeah, man.
Are you coming to the Bay? Are you coming to the Bay?
Yeah, I will be coming to the Bay shortly. I'll definitely be there this summer.
All right.
So I'll let you know ahead of time. I will, dude. And send your little girl hello from me.
Will do, man. You take care. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Austin. Appreciate it.
All right. No doubt. You guys take it easy.
You too, man. Peace.
Peace.
Man, that was dope talking to Austin, man.
Yeah, man. Real cool dude, real down to earth, and super passionate about the music industry, man. Drop some gems on us there.
Yeah, I think it's really cool hearing shit like that from somebody that's like in it, that grew up in it, that's more or less that's all they know for their lives. I think that shit's really cool, man. It's a different perspective on things.
Yeah, incredible insight, man. Appreciate it, Austin.
Yeah, and that nigga made me laugh a little bit. Funny shit is like
yeah, he was funny.
Austin, me, and one of our homegirls that we brought up in the call, we were all three pretty close back in the day, and we had no clue that he was a Jackson for like the longest, and then it kind of casually came up in conversation. I don't know how you casually bring that up. If it was me, I would have just been wearing the shirt the whole time, but like I'm a Jackson.
Right. Yeah, it's like you going to high school and then it's like all you talk about amongst your friends is boxing, and it's like just like after 3 years of talking, one of your friends like, oh yeah, I know Mayweather. He's my uncle.
I was
like, bruh.
Hey, no shit. I went to high school with Floyd Mayweather's sister.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Fanny.
Damn.
What's up, girl? How you been?
Damn, and shout out to the Mayweathers, man. So you were literally going to school with entertainment / music royalty and also sports royalty. The only thing, the trifecta probably would have been if like you went to school with like someone related to like Barack. That would have been the trifecta there, man. Politics,
yeah, I can't
entertainment,
afford to go to those schools.
Sports. Right.
I went to a public school.
Right, yeah. Those schools are hard to get into.
Yeah.
For some of us.
Definitely, man. Yeah,
I feel you.
The crazy thing is, I didn't find out until, like I guess some years later that, who I went to school. I went to school with man, is a lead singer of some band. Okay, my brother told me. What's this dude's name? Oh, he's a lead singer for the band Panic at the Disco. I went to high school with him too.
Man, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
But,
I didn't at all either.
Oh.
So I don't even know his name. I would have to look up his name. But yeah, I went to school with him too. So I went to school with a lot of talented people. People a lot more talented than me.
Hey man, it happens, man. Hey man, it's like going to school. And Professor X is Xavier. Professor X is the warden, man. It's like you're not gonna have Cyclops powers. Maybe your power is just gonna be able to walk through walls and shit. It's levels to it. Don't be too hard on yourself, bro. We all can't be Wolverine, bro.
Hey man, it made me feel a lot better about it. Thank you. But I know we teased this at the beginning of the call, and then while we were talking to Austin. So, IQ, if it's all right with you, I'm gonna get into my unfuckwittable now.
Oh shit, let's do this.
So, everybody that over the last week has had nothing but Kanye on the mind because he's been tweeting some outlandish shit. And he was in a hole before then, and I'm not talking about Kim Kardashian's vagina. I'm talking about in a hole nobody heard about him for a while. He wasn't doing anything, but all of a sudden he comes back, says some controversial shit, and then he's trying to sell us something. Kanye only gives a shit about interacting with people when he's trying to sell us something. So, without further ado, my unfuckwittable for the week is Kanye West. Now, IQ, I know you know this. I know people who are close to me know this. I've been saying fuck Kanye for a while now. Before it was cool to say fuck Kanye, before people were privy to the fact that he was a Trump supporter, that he subscribed to those ideals. I've been saying fuck Kanye for a while. I've known for a while that Kanye West is full of shit. That he is a disingenuous person. That he thinks more highly of himself than that motherfucker's not a genius. He takes other people's work, other beats that have been created, repackages them into a sample of his own, and says he's a genius for doing that, when people have been doing that for a long time. Kanye West does a lot of very mediocre shit and pats himself on the back for it. Yeah, I think Kanye West makes pretty good music. But I think the person attached to the music is a piece of shit. I don't know when everybody else is really going to take the reins on these sorts of things and realize, sometimes you can't separate the person from their craft. Sometimes the person is just such a shitty individual that you have to separate yourself from that person and from what they do. And it's time we start with Kanye West. Kanye West doesn't give a fuck about people in general. He doesn't give a fuck about people in the hood. He doesn't give a fuck about people in the suburbs. He gives a fuck about being accepted by rich white people who he is trying to appeal to now. Now, it's no problem appealing to white people. I mean, those are the motherfuckers that buy and consume most music, whether it be rap or R&B or country or anything. They consume everything. So, yeah, there's a level of appeal that you got to sell them. But Kanye West doesn't just want to sell them music. He wants to be one of them. He wants to be a part of that. Kanye West doesn't give a shit about black people, just like you said George Bush doesn't. I reiterate, Kanye West is a piece of shit. And he's not getting my money anymore. He's not going to get any more of my attention than I've already spent these last 15 minutes talking about him. So, Kanye West is now inducted into the Unfuckwittable Hall of Fame with his boy, Donald Trump. Fuck both of you forever. That's all.
Wow. Well done, sir. The only, I think we only, prior to Kanye, we only had one Hall of Fame inductee in there, and that was the Donald. How ironic. Kanye's in there now. Wow. Yeah. Look, good points made. And you are correct. I think you might be going on 10 years strong here of being anti-Kanye. You were one of the first. Mm-hmm. You were one of the first, quote unquote, woke people when it comes to Ye. Now, me personally, I was never really like a big fan of Kanye, but like you said, it does make it hard to separate the person from the music, because here and you know how I am, and most of our listeners know how I am. Like, if you're going to do something to better market or promote your music at the expense of someone else, then all that I ask is you're consistent with it. What I mean is, if you're going to disrespect Taylor Swift, who is just a regular nice girl just trying to win an award at MTV, right? Mm-hmm. And you're gonna like kind of take her shine or whatever and I know it was he's saying to stand up for Beyonce, but let's be honest, it was more so just about him. Yes. Then all that I ask is then you be consistent. Like, it shouldn't matter. Like, all that I ask is you should interrupt 50 Cent if he was winning that award. But we both know that wouldn't have happened. Right. And so, like, with one of our favorite artists, 50 Cent, at least 50's consistent. Like, if 50 decides to fuck up lives like he normally does, he'll do it with anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. And that's kind of like my issue with Kanye. It's all these calculated things to make it seem like he's original, or he cares for us, or he's this genius, when in actuality it all comes down to it being about him. Like, yes, that's it. Yeah. Kanye's so, Hall of Famer, man. Hall of Famer.
And he appeals to fake people. Because everybody who, is big up in Kanye, is talking about he's a genius, are motherfuckers on social media that need validation from everybody else who agrees with them about Kanye West being something he's not, just like most of them are what they're not. It's like it's a perfect marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fucked up marriage.
And now it's cool.
It is a marriage.
And now it's cool to say fuck Kanye. Like, that's the new cool thing. Like, let's tweet about, IG about how we're done with Kanye. Austin made a good point. Yeah. Like, even when you're not talking about Kanye, you're talking about Kanye. Or when you're not trying to listen to him, you're listening to him. Because I'm a huge Pusha T fan. I was a Pusha T fan before he got with good music. And I will always be a Pusha T fan. I will always listen to him, even if Kanye produces albums or whatever. Like, I can't help that Kanye's producing one of my favorite rappers. I will still listen to Pusha T. I'll still listen to John Legend. So, anyway, that's all about Kanye. I got, again, I'm gonna do my best to not talk about that jackass.
Yeah. Okay. Well said, man. And for our listeners out there, be sure to tune in to the next call as we talk about Kanye West.
yes, because that's likely gonna happen
somehow, some way. Yeah. We're being realist here. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, because he's gonna do some more shit that we're gonna have to address. Speaking of something we need to address, I got to make a public service announcement.
Okay, PSA.
Yeah. The warmer temperatures are upon us. Spring is officially here. Summer is approaching. It's getting hotter outside. People are wearing less clothes. T-shirts, shorts, and sandals. Mm-hmm. Open-toed shoes. My public service announcement. Open-toed shoes are not for everyone. And that goes for men and women alike. Men, I don't think y'all should do it ever, period, anyway. Unless you guys are at the pool or at the beach. But to some women out there also, is just because they make open-toed shoes does not mean you should wear them. Some of y'all feet don't look like the kind of feet that should be in a sandal. They look more like a Timberland kind of foot, you know? So I think even a pedicure won't cure some of the ills of those toes that you got. So as it's getting warmer, as we wear less, before you throw on those sandals, those flip-flops, those thongs, whatever you want to call them, look down at your feet and ask yourself, is this really a good idea? Is my foot made for this shoe? And if you have to doubt yourself, even for a second, the answer is no. So that's my PSA. I'm done with that.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting PSA because you know, me being a you know, fairly young black male, when I am wearing slippers out in public, 100% of the time, they're accompanied with black Nike socks, and that's just the way it is. Now, I do see some of my you know, non-black friends wearing the open toes, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. There's been a couple summers when I'm like, bruh, it's too hot to be wearing these socks, and I've contemplated it, I've thought about it, but it's just one of those things where I just can't pull the trigger. It's like it's like going out in public wearing basketball shorts and not having any underwear on. That's just how it would feel. You don't feel fully clothed, man. But yeah, man. Nike socks and slippers for me until I die, man. I can't do the open toe thing. Now shout out to the only person I know that can pull it off, D Stu.
No, he can't.
Rainbow.
He does, but he can't.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. D Stu, this is your. I love you to death, homie, but it's not a good look.
But I'll give that dude props, man, because when he first unveiled the open-toed sandals, slippers, man, we got on him, but he held his ground. He didn't switch up. Still rocks them. So salute to that man.
Yeah, hey, well, he is him. I mean, you know, I'm not I believe his individuality speaks for itself. But it's still not a good look, man. I would still discourage that kind of behavior.
Put some Nike socks on, bruh.
Yeah, get rid of all your sandals. Unless you're going to the beach, man. That's the only time they're acceptable. But anyway, man, that's all I got for today, dude. I'm very grateful to have had Austin join us, and as it's always a pleasure hearing some IQ perspective as well.
Oh man, likewise, man. Good call, man. And thanks again to Austin, man. It was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get him on again sometime in the future.
Yeah, man.
And as always, man, we're just a couple of suburban hood niggas out here trying to make it.
Amen, brother. Amen.
All right, mate. Take it easy.
All right, man. You too. Peace.
Peace.